Hello, friends. This is Ward Choir Tips and Tricks, and this is about diction. For diction, I like to think about my dear hobbit friend Samwise Gamgee. Look him up. He's a true hero. But there's a part in The Lord of the Rings where he is talking to this sneaky, sly character, Gollum. And Gollum's asking what he's making for stew. And Sam's getting a little frustrated with this annoying, very creepy, once was a hobbit character. And he's saying potatoes, but he really uses his diction and says potatoes. So, potatoes is really good diction instead of potatoes. Potatoes. And so with diction, that diction is defined, in this case for choir, as the ability to pronounce words clearly. Now, hold on one sec. I drew something and I left it in another part. I will be right back. Okay, I want to show you this little diagram here. You can see that. There you go. All right, so we often sing one of these two ways. This way is, imagine it's going this way. Sorry, it's backwards. This way is where we sing words and eclipse the consonants. So for example, or eclipse the vowel and go straight to the consonant. So for example, oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you away, you rolling river. So this is kind of a modern pop style, a jazz style, where they don't hold out the vowel sound. They just kind of clip it off. We see this in hymns a lot if we sing. In humility, our Savior grant. And I'm going right to the consonant. Instead of grant, it's grant or grant. And it closes very quickly to the consonant because words are all made up of vowels and consonant sounds. So that's this kind of thing right here. It's nice diction, but for a choral classical aesthetic, we lose a lot of the sound because sound is sustained on vowels. And if we're cutting all these vowels short, it kind of clips the sound. The other opposite problem is a big legato line of vowels, but not really any consonants. Let me give an example for Shenandoah. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you away, rolling river. So it's very different from the oh, Shenandoah. Notice I have one big line. And you can get better at this idea of singing if just imagine that you're just singing vowels for a song and you're not going to stop the sound until you breathe. Instead of so that kind of helps. But that wasn't very clear singing when I did it without much consonant. So what we want is this one right here. It's this line with little dots. Imagine it like a necklace, and these are beads, and you've strung them together. And I use this analogy often. You want the legato line, but you want little consonant blips. Boop, boop, boop. So listen. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you away, you rolling river. Now you might be saying, oh, that's way too much consonant. Well, if I was a soloist with a mic right here, that would be too much consonant. But in choir, it's different. You're not right here with the mic, and it's not you soloing. It's you and a big group of people. And the tendency is we don't do as much. We need to do extra amount of diction in a group for it to actually carry, because it's more of a group sound rather than like individuals sticking out. I've met very few people that have done too much diction that I need to say and pull back. Usually, in general, just the whole group can do more. So that's a way you can focus on improve your diction. I'll give a couple other tips. From an anatomical standpoint, the parts of your mouth that help with diction are the lips, the teeth, and the tip of the tongue. Now notice that all of those are in the front of your face. So basically pronunciation and diction happens right in the front instead of being swallowed. An exercise you can do to help singers learn this concept is bippity boppity boo. You sing it on a descending 5-finger pattern. Bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity boo. I can't do that if I have the sound swallowed and the tongue pulled back. Bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity boo. And then you can even increase it. Bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity bippity boppity boo. That's all front here. Another thing is just to tell them, imagine that the sound's shooting out the front of your face. Listen to the difference. Sometime in this little example, I'm going to go from just singing to imagining that the consonants are coming out the front of my face. In humility, our Savior, grant thy Spirit, here we pray. It was about a third of the way in that I made the switch. Just thinking, coming out of the front of my mouth. Really helpful. One last thing. Another really effective thing I've seen for teaching diction is you get somebody that doesn't usually come to, isn't usually a part of choir, some friend or neighbor, whatever. I actually did this once with an upstairs neighbor who wasn't a member of the church. I just said, hey, we're working on this Christian song. We're working on diction. Can you come help us? And they came. It was great. You have them come, and then you say to the person that's come, okay, we're going to sing a line of this song. We'll stop, and you tell us what we sang. And invariably, without exception, the choir will sing, and the person listening will probably get 50% of what they said. So you'll have them sing, "Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you." You stop, and then you just ask the person, what did they say? "Oh, Shannon, I long to something." So then you say, okay, let's try it again. And you do it again until that person can get pretty much all of it. Then you go on and do a few lines. And after a while, the choir realizes, oh man, they're not getting very much. And they figure out what are the consonants that often don't get emphasized as much. So that's a really fun, eye-opening experience, and it's a cool way to involve somebody else. Diction is vital to feeling the Spirit because, especially in more choir, you feel the Spirit when you understand something. And if you can't understand the words, you're toast. When you sing, especially a song that's not very familiar, you need to make sure that they're singing clear diction. And that you've tested that maybe with somebody else listening, because if they can be understood, then the people out in the audience can understand and they feel more edified. If not, it's just pretty music. It's just like hearing a song in another language. Pretty, but you don't feel the power of the words. Don't feel the power that comes from knowing those words. Well, that's Diction. That's Samwise Gamgee. That's teaching tips for word choir. Have fun.